The UK economy is closing down.
We just can't keep paying wages every week when we've no orders coming in the other end. So, we have to make, some very, very harsh decisions.
The disease that threatens our families is destroying our livelihoods.
Cafes, pubs, restaurants must close from Friday night except takeaway food to tackle coronavirus.
We are with those trying to keep us going.
I have 3 kids, 7, 5 and 1, and that's the stress you're under.
The minimum wage heroes who are putting their lives on the line.
I do worry about being exposed, and I do get concerned about being in amongst the crowds that we're in amongst at the moment.
And the people who have no idea how they're going to survive in lockdown UK.
It didn't quite hit me up until walking out of work, and that's when obviously I got myself upset.
Now is the time for everyone to stop non-essential contact with others. You should avoid pubs, clubs, theatres and other such social venues.
In just a fortnight, everything has changed. The UK's economy went into freefall on St Patrick's Day. It's normally one of Belfast's busiest nights, but John's bookings are nearly all gone.
I was shocked. He hasn't turned around and said, for me to shut the doors. So he hasn't. So, what sort of position does that put me in? So if I shut the doors myself, I've still got to pay all the wages out.
What was it like to hear him say that?
It's devastating. It is absolutely devastating. I never thought I would have came to this here.
The government hasn't ordered pubs and restaurants to shut, it's just told people not to go into them. And that means many businesses have no customers but can't claim on the insurance for lost trade.
I've got 17 members of staff, so I have, I still want to make sure that they're all getting paid their wages.
How long can you go on for?
Well, until the bank account's out.
You will go until the money's gone?
I will keep going until the money's gone, yeah.
But then that's the business gone?
That's the business gone, yeah.
Some pubs stay open, but most people have stayed away.
It's 11 o'clock at night in Belfast city centre on St Patrick's Day. This place should be full of people. All these bars should be open and busy. But coronavirus has closed everything down.
So, with no customers, Belfast's nightlife falls silent. And some owners don't know when they'll open again.
My sons, Fergal, helped create this. It's just a place that we're very proud of.
How does this make you feel that you're in this bar and it's empty?
It makes me feel very sad. I don't really want to go, and I mean, to be honest, I find it difficult. There's a big lot of work, a big lot of effort, a lot of, not me, the guys who work here, guys who've been here right from the start, and they, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. They don't know what we're going to do.
Millions of jobs are now on the line.
Everywhere is trying to deal with the effects of coronavirus, but if a big employer goes in a small place, that can have a massive impact. I'm on my way to Strabane which is in the western part of Northern Ireland. And there, one of the main employers is doing his best to keep the factory open.
"750 people work here. They make sports kit. But sport has stopped, and so have the orders.
You know, we just can't keep paying wages every week when we've no orders coming in the other end.
Just tell us what's happened today then, because since I've arrived I can tell that your mind's all over the place. What's happening now?
We've put our staff, our 750 staff, on notice that from next Monday that we're going to work 2 days a week. So half the staff would come in on Monday, Tuesday, the other half would come in Wednesday and Thursday. So that's the plan from next Monday.
How stressful for you is this?
It's very, very stressful. I mean, as I say, this is unprecedented times, but if it comes to the worst where we have to actually cease production, if we close for 2 months, can we sustain that? But if it's longer, what happens then?
As some businesses cut back, others are swamped.
Nicole, you're loading.
Paul's pharmacy in Belfast is under pressure. He's built this barrier to protect staff.
It's been surreal, and to say it's an understatement of surreal, really. This was a beautiful, well laid out pharmacy, lots of space, well organised workflow patterns, and then really I think since Friday it's been pandemonium.
Some doctors' surgeries have been shut and customers are struggling to get their regular prescriptions. Paul says he may have to break the law to keep his patients safe.
It's illegal for us to hand out medicines without prescriptions. You know, we're put in a position whereby, do we break the law? Do we not break the law? The patient get their medicines? You will have pharmacists like me. I will be giving the medicine out. You know, I shouldn't. And somebody from the pharmaceutical side might come and say, well, you're breaking the law.
How does it feel?
It's traumatic. It is traumatic.
His staff have never seen anything like this.
Just because we're healthcare professionals doesn't mean that we're not worried as well. But we're kind of like that scene in the Titanic. We're still playing away and everyone's panicking.
GPs are writing prescriptions to keep people going longer. Paul's driver Tommy is picking them up from the surgeries.
The last couple of days I've been starting early to try and get around because the surgeries it's like Shaun of the Dead. Every surgery's got different rules and things in place. Customers aren't getting into the surgeries, like patients looking for scripts, they're queuing up outside, they're inundated themselves. I think people are panicking and ordering as much as they can. And if you see my list normally like a few pages, but I've got like 10 pages worth of names. So I'll park up here and have a go. Right, wish me luck. Bingo. Look at that. That's more than I'd pick up in one day in one surgery. It's obscene. Families are getting like piles of scripts, I think, they're just panicking. And that would be like a week's worth, it's mad.
Back at the pharmacy, Paul is worried about a shortage of some drugs.
The supply of over-the-counter paracetamol is an issue. We have reasonable supplies of packs of 100, but we're breaking them down so that and splitting them and selling them in 32s. It's potentially illegal to do that. We're running out of other products. Some of those branded generics you can't get. Some of the inhaler products you can't get.
Well, can you phone Rainbow and see what?
Over the last couple of days I've been a pharmacist, I've been an electrician, I've been a telephone engineer, I've been a shoulder to cry on, I've been the person doing the crying. Yeah, so we'll get through it.
For millions, the supermarket has become the most important place. They keep us going, but essential items are disappearing. This is an independent supermarket in Shropshire.
But then we're going to be rationed, so on Sunday when we get the products.
It's been owned by Harry's family for 4 generations.
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
No, no, absolutely not. No, stuff, you know, we've got enough product for people to...
I met Harry before social distancing became part of our lives.
You know, we've got a good availability. The traditional loaves, say, you know, that's all pretty much gone. So your sliced loaf, which is obviously your most popular bread, is.
So this over here, would it? These are the empty
here
shelves.
And here.
Wow. That is where toilet rolls normally go.
Not anymore. So.
Just nothing. Has it been hard trying to get food? Have you been worried about it?
Yeah, I've got a family of 5.
How much food have you got?
Not a lot. But I work at school, so when going in after school, there isn't any food on the shelves for us to go and get. So.
You need to stock up?
Yeah.
Across the country, we've spent an extra £1 billion on food. Harry's sales are 3 times their normal levels. He's rationing key products, but worries about what comes next.
We're a 4th generation family business and we're proudly independent. But if we close, we close. You know, there's nothing then.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, you just got to carry on whilst you can. And we've got a lot, you know, 70 staff to think about, you know.
Kieran's bar in Belfast is still shut and he's trapped. Customers have been told to avoid pubs and clubs, but the venues haven't been officially ordered to close.
Companies, big and small, we will stand by you to beat.
Kieran hopes this government announcement will end the confusion.
Avoid pubs, bars, clubs and restaurants to work from home if at all possible.
Avoid pubs, clubs, bars again, yeah, but don't close them.
And I know it has been...
It is a make or break moment for Kieran's bar.
Taking together. Remember our joint objective to beat this virus. We are collectively telling cafes, pubs, bars and restaurants to close tonight as soon as they reasonably can and not to open tomorrow.
Oh, thank God. I'm getting texts through here saying, finally, at last, you know, for everybody's sake.
And indeed, the whole
that should have been done.
In many cases of these businesses is to bring
This means now I can go to an insurance company and try and get some sort of a settlement out of them. Don't know if I'll get it, but it's a door open, thank God.
Pubs, restaurants told to shut to fight virus as of midnight tonight.
For Harry, the announcement that pubs are closing is a new problem.
Everyone that's come in has just gone straight to the booze.
Right.
So
yeah,
that could be interesting.
I don't know whether we need to look at thinking what we do tonight.
Put a limit on it, I think.
Yeah.
So otherwise it is all just going to disappear.
Yeah, do that from now.
Right, okay.
You say it's just increased really just
yes,
now?
One chap has just gone out with 4 in his trolley.
Right.
They're going to find out, they're going to go nuts, they're going to clear us out. Yeah.
Jesus God. Every supermarket in the land in the last half an hour would have just had people piling into the alcohol section.
For millions conditions, the basics are disappearing. Sarah has just lost her job because of the crisis. She worked in the kitchen of a pub in Ashton-under-Lyne near Manchester.
Friday they told me they'd have to lay me off because they were shutting the kitchen. It didn't quite hit me up until walking out of work. And that's when, obviously, I got myself upset because I knew that's probably the last time I could be out or ever see the place again, or ever see my managers and my work colleagues. I feel lost. I feel lost and I feel empty. You can play with your kids and do this and do that, but as soon as your kids go to bed at night time, it's like your brain's ticking over again, and the constant worry and the constant feeling that you are on your own.
Why do I have to shoot all the way over from there and you can shoot from there? Yeah!
Sarah was hoping the layoff might be temporary, but her boss says it's permanent.
I just don't know where to go or what to do. I got told you can get help, but when I went onto the government website, it doesn't tell you how you go out. You know, it goes live tomorrow. So I'm still none the wiser though. I don't want to go down that route of universal credit. Go on. All right. Andrew, see you later. Bye. 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 That was my boss. She's none the wiser at the moment because they've had no response from no one. So she still doesn't know anything.
The government says help's available, but Sarah is struggling.
You can go on the website, it tells you that you'll get help if you've been laid off, but it doesn't tell you how you go about it or who to phone. I haven't got a clue what my options are at all. I feel like all I've done is been looking on my phone, scrolling through, but still none the wiser. I just feel like it hitting my head against a brick wall. And no wonder I'm not sleeping at night, because I'm not getting the answers that I need.
In the last week, the supply chain has faced its biggest test. The stock in our warehouses has taken a hit. It falls to truck drivers like Marco to restock the nation's larder.
We've got frozen veg at -22 and cauliflowers, but there is also other stuff, peas and so on, a full load.
Marco is one of the low-paid workers who are keeping the country going. Emergency regulations have extended the hours drivers can be on the road from 9 to 11 hours a day.
I came from Belgium. I've got 22 tons of frozen veg and we are going to a supermarket depot in the southwest of England. I was there already yesterday. I went back to the same place empty and loaded again. It's been really busy. So I've been going back and forth from this place in Belgium where we usually load 5 or 6 lorries a week. It's been 15, 20 so far. Food is important. If you see that all the borders are shut, then us lorries are allowed everywhere without any checks, so that shows how important we are. So I'll be back there tomorrow most probably, empty. Going back empty and coming back loaded. It's been non-stop, so it's quite tiring.
I think it's going to be quite hectic in here later, yeah. Judging by the last few days.
It's dawn, and across the country, supplies are arriving.
Want to drive it?
Morning. You alright? Ready for another chaos day?
Yeah, we are.
Supermarket deliveries are being rationed as well.
Home desk score for that one.
So some shelves will stay empty.
Still out of toilet rolls, yeah. We had it last delivered on Wednesday, and it was all sold by Wednesday evening. Sometimes you've just got a demand for it there and then, and you're just handing it over before it makes the shelves.
Pat is one of millions of minimum wage heroes. We depend on them for our food, but the shops are busy and that puts them at risk.
I do worry about being exposed because I've got elderly family and I've got young children that have got their health problems, and I do get concerned about being in amongst the crowds that we're in amongst at the moment. And I do think it may get to the point where I will have to say, I'm sorry, I need to isolate, I can't take the risk.
Back in Belfast, Paul is making more changes to his pharmacy.
We're setting up the drive-through collection for the pharmacy. Lean-to at the rear and effectively a hatch, drive-through hatch, so the cars will come in and collect the prescription then. So if people are in their own cars and not having face-to-face contact with the pharmacy staff, then hopefully that keeps the system working longer. Without staff going down, but also importantly that if staff had the infection and they're asymptomatic, that they're not then passing that on to members of the public. And the staff have just been amazing. We got them in, anybody who could work effectively to get the pharmacy set up, because we don't know who's going to be standing in 2 weeks' time.
Paul is paying for all these changes out of his own pocket.
I'm concerned with costs and finances and all that, but we'll worry about that down the line. We can look back at 2 weeks, but looking forward 2 weeks is the scary bit. In all reality, it's certainly changed everybody's day-to-day life. There's definitely a difficult time ahead with people who will go through untold things, but we cope with it.
It's not just work. Paul is worried about his family too.
Cara's 7, Ella's 5, and they talk about coronavirus, and they do understand there's something going on, and they do understand that they keep their distance. They do understand, and maybe it's a sad way as well. They understand that certainly from their father that don't come running up, when he walks in from work, when they would have done it all the time. So that's difficult. It's difficult for as a parent. It's difficult for them as well. So.
In Ashton-under-Lyne, Sarah is still trying to get help. But she was made redundant hours before the government promised to pay 80% of wages. So she'd only qualify if her employer reinstated her.
Now I'll make a phone call to the Universal Credit and see what answers I can get of them. That's engaged.
500,000 applications for Universal Credit have been processed in 2 weeks.
I can't even get through at home. It's like the phone line's not even ringing. And when it does ring, it goes on to the engaged phone.
We don't know how many more people have tried and failed to get through.
We're receiving a large number of calls, and all our advisors are busy.
For Sarah and her children, the money is running out.
My head's spinning. My head is literally spinning with it all. Even though I've made all my phone calls today, I'm still none the wiser of where to go.
Mum?
For this month, I'll be alright, but after the end of this month, I don't know, because I'm still not getting the answers. Obviously, I can claim housing benefit and get that sorted, so that's one thing. But on the aspect of paying my bills and getting shopping, up until I know what the situation is with the money, I can't even answer that one.
From this evening, I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home. Because the critical thing we must do to stop the disease spreading between households.
There's been a big change at the sportswear factory. The workers are back in, and they're now part of the fight against the virus.
I got called in on Friday afternoon from the Health Trust, and they asked us, could we manufacture scrubs for them? We got an order for 50,000, and the girls are all back on Wednesday making these scrubs for the health service, the frontline workers.
It's keeping Kieran and his staff in business.
Look, I mean, everybody's glad to be back. The health service are in bad need, and the frontline staff are in bad need of these garments.
The whole country is now locked down, and the government has effectively nationalised the payroll. There's supposed to be billions for workers and businesses, but for most, the cash isn't there yet.
Hi Stuart, listen, I got that spreadsheet with all the details of staff pay.
So what's happening to the people we're following? Well, it's now safer if they film themselves.
I'm looking out in the country. Bit of a building site out here, but you know, there's fresh air around me.
Kieran is still waiting for government help, and like millions of others, he's in self-isolation.
I have a bit of a cough, I've had it for ages. If I take all this wee video diary, it could turn from a video diary into a video drama. Hopefully not.
At the supermarket, supplies are improving, but a fifth of the workforce is off.
We're now 15 people down, which includes Pat. In the outside world, looking at the hard work that the NHS and other key worker services are doing, because it encourages all of us, our family, the business, the staff to keep going, because we realised, you know, there is a common goal at the end of all of this.
It's chaos out there, and I just think, you know, as a pharmacist trying to work through this crisis, do the best for the public, patients, staff, everybody else involved. You know, it is so frustrating.
And Sarah and her kids are still waiting for money or good news.
Here's to hope, because I think that's all we've got at the moment. There's no certainties, everything's still uncertain. It's uncertain times. All I've got is hope that everyone can stick together and get through it. And take care and be safe.
Britain is on the brink. Shops, workplaces, and streets are empty like never before. Millions of people don't know what happens next. How can the UK make a living if we're all locked down at home?